Your future self sent this. You just broke the observer loop. The person you were 60 seconds ago is already collapsing. This isn't a metaphor. It's a quantum event triggered by your attention, a scientifically validated process known as quantum collapse. In the next 45 minutes, I will show you the physics of this identity collapse and how to consciously navigate the emergence of your new reality. That feeling of being stuck, of running in place no matter how hard you try, that wasn't a personal failure. It was a symptom of this loop, and your decision to watch this was the key to breaking it. This is not just information, it is a frequency, and your choice to tune into it right now is an act of observation with profound physical consequences. The core principle that governs our reality, proven for nearly a century by the foundational double-slit experiment, is the observer effect. In the quantum realm, before a particle is observed, it does not exist in one single place. It exists as a wave of pure potential, a cloud of infinite possibilities, all happening at once. But the moment an observer looks, the moment a measurement is taken, that entire wave of potential instantly collapses into a single, definite reality. A particle, a fact. Your focused attention is that act of observation. It is the most powerful force in the universe. For years, perhaps your entire life, you have been unconsciously directing this force at a very specific wave. Function, the story of you. Your memories, your limitations, your recurring problems, your secret fears. You observed this story so consistently, so faithfully, that you collapsed it into the same particle, the same reality, day after day after day. You built a prison of consistency out of your own attention, and then forgot you were the one holding the key. You became so good at collapsing the same reality that you mistook it for the only reality. This is the source of the deepest human frustration. That feeling of running on a treadmill, accelerating your effort, pouring more willpower, more discipline, more hope into your journey, only to find yourself in the exact same room, breathing the same stale air. You change the scenery, you change the job, you change the relationship, but the underlying feeling, the core pattern, remains. It's an exhausting, soul-crushing paradox. You are doing all the work, but the math isn't adding up. You feel the friction, the resistance, the invisible wall that seems to repel your every breakthrough. This was not a flaw in your character. It was a law of physics you were using against yourself. If this idea, that this video is an active quantum event, not just information, resonates with you on a deep level, hit the like button now to anchor this new frequency. Your action declares that you are no longer a passive recipient of reality, but an active participant in its creation. So you're probably asking, what is a reality shift on a quantum level? And how did I just trigger one? Let me break it down. You were trapped inside a feedback system, a perfectly designed energetic circuit. Let's call it the quantum hamster wheel. It works like this. Your state of being, the combination of your thoughts and feelings, acts as the observer. This observer looks out at your life and collapses the wave of potential into a reality that perfectly matches that state of being. This reality then produces more experiences that generate the exact same thoughts and feelings, which in turn reinforces your state of being, the observer, and the wheel keeps spinning. Observation creates reality. Reality reinforces observation. The loop is closed. It's an elegant, self-sustaining system of energetic stagnation. You were running faster and faster, but you were the one powering the wheel that kept you in place. Have you ever felt like you were living the same day, the same problem, over and over again, just with different details? That was the wheel. But your decision to engage with this transmission, to hold your focus here, introduced a new variable, a new frequency. It was a conscious choice to observe something different, something that exists outside the logic of your old loop. This single act was enough to interrupt the feedback circuit. It was the moment you stopped running, and a wheel that is no longer being powered begins to slow down. It begins to wobble. It begins to dissolve. That is the collapse you have just initiated. By the end of this transmission, you will move from being the runner on the wheel to the conscious observer who can step off it at any moment. You will understand the collapse you just initiated and know exactly what to do next. You are not here to learn how to run faster. You are here to remember that you were never the runner at all. You are the architect of the entire machine. So you're probably asking, what is a reality shift on a quantum level, and how did I just trigger one? Let me break it down. At the very foundation of our universe, there is a strange and beautiful rule. Nothing is solid. Nothing is fixed until it is observed. Before a conscious eye looks at it, every particle, every electron, every photon exists in a state of pure, shimmering potential. Physicists call this superposition. It's not in one place. It's in all possible places at once. Think of it as a cloud of infinite probabilities, a ghost of what could be. The moment an instrument or a conscious observer measures it, looks for it, that cloud of potential instantly collapses into a single, definite point in space and time. The ghost becomes a particle. The maybe becomes an is. This is the observer effect. It is not a theory. It is a repeatedly proven fundamental law of the reality you inhabit. And it's not just happening in a laboratory with tiny particles. It is happening with you right now. Your identity, the person you believe you are, is a quantum system. The you who has been struggling, the you who has been stuck, the you who has been running on that wheel, was never a solid, permanent thing. It was a probability wave, a cloud of potential selves. And every morning you woke up, you looked for the same person in the mirror, with the same memories, the same limitations, the same story, and your observation collapsed that wave into the same particle. Day after day, after day, you were unknowingly recreating the same reality by observing it into existence. This constant, subconscious recollapsing of the same identity is what we call the observer loop. It's the physics of the quantum hamster wheel. The energy that keeps it spinning is your own focused attention. The momentum comes from the emotional charge of your past, and the mechanics are simple. You observe yourself to be stuck, which collapses the reality of being stuck, which then gives you more evidence to observe, which reinforces the observation. It is a perfect, self-sustaining loop of creation. The process of breaking out of it, the event you triggered by choosing to watch this, is the quantum self-collapse. It isn't a breakdown, it is a breakthrough, a necessary natural system reboot that returns the particle of your old self back to the pure potential of the wave. Now you understand why all the old methods failed. Think about it. Affirmations, visualizations, acting as if, these are noble efforts. They come from a deep desire to change, but most of the time they fail to create lasting transformation for a very specific, mechanical reason. They are attempts to paint the hamster wheel a different color while you are still running on it. You are trying to change the particle, not the observation that creates the particle. Saying, I am wealthy, while observing your life from a state of lack is a quantum contradiction. You are sending two opposing signals. The deeper, more habitual observation, the one charged with years of emotional energy, always wins. You cannot convince the universe of a new reality while your primary focus, your observational power, is still locked onto the evidence of the old one. You cannot fix the prison by redecorating the cell. You have to stop seeing the prison altogether. This leads us to the new paradigm. The key is not to change the self. The key is not to fix the self or heal the self or improve the self. The key is to withdraw observation from the old self entirely. Read that again. The key is to withdraw your attention, your focus, your precious energy of observation from the identity pattern that no longer serves you. This is the great secret. You don't fight the loop. You don't resist the loop. You don't try to outrun the loop. You stop energizing it. You let it spin down. This is the observer effect explained simple. Your attention is the glue that holds your current reality and identity together. It is the force that collapses the wave into the particle you call me. Remove the glue, and the entire structure dissolves back into pure potential. It doesn't require effort. It doesn't require struggle. It is an act of supreme release, a letting go so profound that the very architecture of your past reality can no longer sustain itself. It's not about looking for a new you. It's about ceasing to look for the old one. Where in your life have you been trying to fix the reflection in the mirror instead of changing the person looking into it? We believe we are the sum of our past experiences, trapped by our history. This is the central paradox of the human condition. It is the most elegant and the most brutal illusion ever conceived. The belief that the person you are right now is an inevitable product of the person you were yesterday. We carry our history like a shell, believing it is a part of us, when in reality, it is only a story we choose to keep observing. The great revelation, the paradigm shift that dismantles the entire quantum hamster wheel, is this: you are not the pattern. You are the observer of the pattern. Read that again. Let it land. You are pure, formless consciousness observing a complex, repeating, energetic pattern that you have labeled myself. The thoughts, the memories, the traumas, the habits, the identity, that is not you. It is a thing you are looking at, a probability you have become accustomed to collapsing over and over until you mistook the reflection for the source. You have confused the runner on the wheel with the silent, still energy that powers its very existence. This changes everything. This means your past has no inherent power over you. None. It only has the power you grant it through your continuous moment-by-moment observation. It is a phantom that only exists when you stare at it. The moment you turn away, it dissolves. This means you are not broken. You have never been broken. You are a perfect, whole observing consciousness that has simply become fixated on a probability wave you have labeled broken. You are not a faulty machine that needs fixing. You are the engineer who has forgotten they can simply choose to observe a different machine. This means freedom is not earned. It is not a destination you reach after years of struggle, healing, and effort. It is not something you achieve. Freedom is realized. It is realized in the instant you shift your gaze from the pattern to the space behind the pattern. It is a simple recognition of your true nature. You don't have to fight the runner on the wheel. You don't have to push or strive or force change. You just have to remember that you are not the one running. The new approach, then, is not one of action. It is one of radical non-observation. It is a gentle, effortless release. It is about becoming profoundly uninterested in the old story. When the old thought of "I'm not good enough" arises, you don't fight it. You don't replace it with an affirmation. You simply see it as an echo from a collapsing timeline, an artifact, and you let it float by, giving it no energy, no attention, no reality. You become more interested in the silence between your thoughts than the thoughts themselves. You become more fascinated by the feeling of pure potential than the feeling of the old, familiar problem. So, people ask me, how to trigger a quantum self-collapse? The question itself is born from the old paradigm of effort and force. You have been taught that you must do something to change. Here is the truth. You don't trigger it. You simply stop preventing it. You stop holding the old self together with the glue of your focus. The self you think you are is an incredibly energy-intensive construct. It requires your constant observation to maintain its structure. The moment you withdraw that observation, it naturally, gracefully, and inevitably dissolves back into the quantum field of pure potential from which it came. The collapse is not an act of destruction. It is an act of liberation. This is your new identity. This is the truth that was waiting for you on the other side of the loop. You are not a product of the past. You are the creator of the present. You are not a runner in the loop, desperately trying to change your stride. You are the axis of observation, the still, silent, powerful center around which all realities, all possibilities, and all timelines spin. Your attention is the force that pulls a single one of those timelines out of superposition and into your experience. By trying to fix the running, you were focused on the spinning wheel, but your power was never on the wheel. It was, and always has been, in the stillness at the center. What if the you that you're trying so hard to escape isn't something you need to fight, but something you simply need to stop looking at? This quantum self-collapse isn't a future event. It's not something you need to prepare for. It's happening now. As we speak, your system is rebooting. The old identity construct, the one you've been observing for decades, is dissolving. But a collapse of this magnitude isn't silent. It leaves evidence. It scatters fragments of the old reality across your present moment. I call this the quantum debris. And your ability to recognize this debris is the key to anchoring your new self with conviction. Here are the 3 counterintuitive signs, the undeniable proof that your old self is dissolving. The first sign is the most misunderstood. It is the void of apathy. Suddenly, the goals you were obsessed with, the problems that consumed your mental energy, the relationships that defined your emotional state. They just feel distant. There's no charge. It's not depression, which is a heavy, suffocating presence. This is an absence, a clean, quiet neutrality, where a fire of anxiety or desire used to burn. You might look at a project that caused you sleepless nights and feel nothing. You might think about a person who once triggered you and find only silence. The world tells you this is a problem, that you've lost your passion, your drive. This is a lie. You haven't lost your passion. You've withdrawn your observation. That goal, that problem, was a central pillar of the old loop. Your constant focus on it was the energy that kept the hamster wheel spinning. By initiating this collapse, you have energetically unplugged from that entire reality construct. The apathy you feel is the echo of a connection that no longer exists. I once coached a client who spent a decade building a tech company. It was his identity. He lived and breathed it. Then, after beginning this work, he woke up one morning and felt nothing for it. He was terrified. He thought he was broken. But in that void, a new idea, a completely unrelated passion for marine biology began to emerge from the silence. He didn't quit his business out of failure. He simply allowed it to dissolve because it was no longer the most probable reality for his new state of being. What you are feeling is not the death of ambition, it is the birth of freedom. The second sign of collapse is the glitch of synchronicity. As the old, rigid structure of your identity dissolves, the quantum field begins to rearrange itself around your new, uncollapsed potential. The walls between timelines become thin. You start to see the code behind the simulation. This manifests as a sharp increase in bizarre, meaningful coincidences. You'll think of a song, and it will play on the radio the second you turn it on. You'll have a question in your mind, and the answer will appear on a billboard you drive past. You'll see repeating number sequences, 1111, 444, 222. So often, it defies statistical probability. These are not random events. They are calibration signals. The universe is showing you glimpses of adjacent realities, confirming that you are no longer locked into a single, predictable track. Each synchronicity is a breadcrumb, leading you away from the wreckage of the old loop. It's the field communicating directly with your awareness, saying, "We see you. The shift is underway. Keep going." These glitches are proof that reality is far more fluid than your old self believed. They are cracks in the old foundation, and through those cracks, the light of infinite possibility is pouring in. Treat them as landmarks on your new map. Acknowledge them. Smile. Know that they are the universe winking at you, confirming your collapse is successful. The third, and perhaps most profound sign, is the feeling of unfamiliarity. This one can be unsettling until you understand what it is. You look in the mirror, and for a split second, you don't quite recognize the person looking back. The face is familiar, but the energy behind the eyes is new. You walk through your own home, a place you've lived in for years, and it feels subtly strange, as if you're a visitor. Your own memories can start to feel like a story you read about someone else. This is not dissociation. This is the most concrete evidence that your consciousness is detaching from the old identity construct. You are no longer fully identified with the avatar. You are remembering your true nature as the observer, looking at the pattern you used to call me. That feeling of being a stranger in your own life is the space opening up between you, the pure awareness, and the character you used to play. It is the single greatest indicator that you are no longer running on the wheel but have stepped back to become the axis. The old self was a costume. You have finally taken it off, and for a moment, the reflection in the mirror feels alien without it. Embrace this feeling. It is the feeling of liberation before it has a name. So let's decode the pattern. The apathy is the proof of your energetic disconnection. The synchronicities are the proof of the field's realignment. The unfamiliarity is the proof of your conscious detachment. See these signs not as problems to be solved, but as confirmation messages. They are receipts from the universe proving your order for a new reality has been received. Your collapse is successful. A new version of you is loading. Which of these signs have you been misinterpreting as a step backward that you can now see as evidence of your quantum leap forward? Comment which of these 3 signs of self-collapse you are experiencing right now: the void, the glitch, or the unfamiliarity. Let's create a real-time map of the collective shift happening in the comments. Your experience is a vital data point in this mass awakening. Go now. You understand it. You see the evidence. Now let's complete the collapse. This is the most important part of our time together. Find a space where you can be undisturbed for just a few minutes. Turn off the notifications. Dim the lights. This moment is for you. This is the moment your future self has been waiting for. Find a comfortable position, and when you're ready, gently close your eyes. Take a slow, deep breath in, and as you exhale, release the day. Release the identity you think you are. Release the story. Let it all go. For the next few moments, there is nothing to do, nothing to fix, and nowhere to be but right here, at the center of your own universe. Now I want you to bring your awareness to the phenomenon we've been discussing. Without judgment, I want you to visualize it. See before you, or all around you, the quantum hamster wheel of your old life. See it spinning. Don't try to stop it. Just observe. See the images flashing by on its surface. A conversation you regret. A bill you're worried about. A face from the past. A familiar feeling of anxiety or limitation. See the thoughts, the beliefs, the memories that have been on a continuous loop, spinning faster and faster, generating the reality you've known. Feel the momentum of it. Feel the hum of its energy, an energy you have been feeding with your attention day after day. This wheel is your old identity, your old story, the old observer loop. Just watch it spin for a moment. Acknowledge its existence. Thank it for the lessons it taught you. And now, we shift. Instead of focusing on the spinning wheel, I want you to bring all of your awareness, every ounce of your attention, to the very center of the wheel, the point around which everything spins, the axis. Notice how at the center, there is no movement, there is no speed, there is no story. There is only a profound and absolute stillness, a single, silent, motionless point of pure potential. This is the axis of observation. This is you. Feel yourself becoming this point. Withdraw your awareness from the spinning rim and anchor it completely in this silent center. Feel the frantic energy of the wheel fade into the background as you become more and more identified with the stillness at your core. You are not the events. You are not the emotions. You are not the story spinning around you. You are the still point. You are the silent observer. From this place of absolute stillness, from this axis of pure awareness, simply observe the wheel. Do not judge it. Do not fear it. Do not try to push it away or destroy it. You are not at war with your past. You are simply withdrawing your energy from it. As you rest your attention here, in the motionless center, watch what happens to the wheel. With nothing to power it, with no observer energizing its spin, it begins to slow down. The images become less defined. The sounds become fainter. The emotional charge begins to neutralize. Watch it. It's becoming transparent now, like smoke in the wind. The solid structure you thought was your life, your problems, your identity, it's losing its form. It's dissolving, dematerializing. It was only ever held together by your focused observation. And now, you have withdrawn that focus. Watch as the last remnants of the wheel dissolve back into the shimmering, infinite field of pure potential from which they came. And now, there is only silence. There is only the void. Rest here, in this silent space. This is your true nature. This is the creative womb of the cosmos. This is the quantum field before you collapse it into a single reality. This is the space of infinite possibility. This is freedom. Stay here for another moment. Feel the peace of this state, the certainty. This is home. Now, slowly, gently, begin to bring your awareness back to the room. Feel the surface beneath you. Hear the subtle sounds around you, but bring the stillness with you. Don't leave it behind. Anchor it in your physical body. When you're ready, you can open your eyes. Notice the silence. This is your true nature. This is the creative space from which all new realities are born. What feeling is present in this space? As the wheel dissolved, what single word or feeling emerged from the silence that followed? To anchor this state of pure potential, comment "I am" the still point below. Let this be your declaration of freedom from the loop. The collapse is complete. The void is open. You are no longer the runner on the wheel. You are the conscious architect, standing before an empty plot of quantum land. holding the blueprints to a reality that, until this moment, existed only as pure potential. The ground beneath your feet is firm. It is the silence you touched just moments ago. This is the platform from which all worlds are built. But now the practical work begins. The old structure has been demolished, but echoes will remain. Ghosts from the old loop will test the walls of your new reality. Your mastery depends not on fighting them, but on understanding their nature and implementing the new physics of creation. The first practical tool is the art of non-observation. Soon, perhaps even today, a thought will arise. A familiar anxiety, a recurring criticism, a memory of a limitation that feels viscerally real. A person from your past may reach out, attempting to engage you in the old dynamic, the old dance. These are not signs that the collapse has failed. They are energetic echoes, like the phantom limb of an amputated past. They are the last automated messages sent from a system that has already been decommissioned. Your old self programmed these patterns to run on autopilot, and they will continue to broadcast until they run out of energy. The critical error we used to make was to believe these echoes were alive. We would see the ghost and treat it as a real person. We would hear the thought and engage it in a debate. In doing so, we would plug it back into a life support system. We would give it our observation, our energy, our focus, the very things that create reality. The art of non-observation is a radical and profoundly simple technique. When the ghost of a past limitation appears, you do not fight it. You do not argue with it. You do not even try to replace it with a positive thought. That is still giving it energy. Instead, you see it for what it is, an energetically dead artifact, a quantum fossil. You simply acknowledge its presence without judgment and calmly withdraw your focus. You refuse to give it the electrical charge of your attention. You treat it as spam in your inbox. You don't get angry at it. You don't engage with its claims. You simply mark it as irrelevant and move on. Your refusal to observe them is their final extinction event. Each time you do this, you are actively de-energizing the old neural pathways. You are telling the quantum field, this frequency is no longer relevant. This possibility is no longer being selected for collapse. It feels passive, but it is the most powerful action you can take. It is the ultimate statement of your new identity. You are the architect, and you do not waste time or materials on the ghosts of a demolished building. The second tool is frequency-first creation. In the old loop, we operated from a broken model of reality. We would decide on a specific outcome we wanted, a new job, a relationship, more money, and then we would work ourselves to exhaustion trying to generate the feeling we thought that outcome would give us. We were trying to build a house from the outside in, nailing up walls and a roof while hoping a foundation would magically appear beneath it. It's an exhausting, inefficient, and backward process. The conscious architect works differently. You understand that reality is not a collection of things. It is a hologram projected from a specific frequency. You do not build a reality from the outside in. You radiate a frequency from the inside out. Instead of deciding what you want, you decide how you want to feel. This is the master key. You return to that still point, that void of pure potential, and you choose a core resonant frequency. Not a fleeting emotion, but a deep state of being. Is it the frequency of sovereign peace? Unshakable clarity? Expansive creativity? You don't need to know what it will look like or how it will manifest. Your only job is to become a resonant antenna for that chosen frequency. You embody it. You feel it in your cells. You make it your home. From that place, you let the universe, the quantum field, constellate the details around you. Reality will begin to organize itself to match your broadcast. The job, the relationship, the opportunity, they are not the goal. They are the inevitable side effects of your sustained energetic signature. This is how you build from the foundation up. You become the frequency first, and the hologram of your life has no choice but to shift to reflect it. Now for the third and perhaps most vital tool for this immediate period, navigating the neutral zone. After the definitive collapse of an old identity, and before the new one fully crystallizes into physical form, there is a gap, a pause. The old patterns have dissolved, but the new reality hasn't finished rendering. This space can feel deeply unsettling. It can feel like emptiness, like confusion, like nothing is happening. In the old paradigm, we would panic here. We would assume we had failed, that we were lost in a void. And in that panic, we would scramble back to the familiar misery of the old loop, just to feel something. You must relabel this experience. This is not a void. It is a loading screen. This is the sacred pause. The system is rebooting. Your entire biological and energetic field is recalibrating to a new set of instructions. When you upgrade the operating system on a computer, the screen goes blank for a moment. You don't throw the computer out the window. You trust the process. This neutral zone is the quantum field's loading screen. It is a sign of immense progress. It is the womb of creation, the dark soil before the sprout emerges. When you find yourself in this space, your only task is to rest, to trust, to continue embodying your chosen frequency without needing external evidence that it's working, to see the quiet as confirmation, to see the stillness as a sign that the architecture is being erected on a quantum level before it precipitates into your sensory reality. Do not mistake the loading screen for the final destination. Finally, let's create an integration framework, a simple, non-negotiable daily practice to anchor you as the conscious architect. Every single morning, before you check your phone, before you engage with the world, before you observe the old reality, you will spend 5 minutes implementing this new protocol. You will sit in silence and you will consciously embody the still point. You will reconnect with that silent axis of observation you became in our guided experience. From that stillness, you choose your primary frequency for the day, not your to-do list, your to-be list. You radiate that frequency from your core for just a few minutes, priming your quantum field before the world has a chance to tell you who you used to be. This is not meditation. This is calibration. This is the daily act of a conscious engineer setting the parameters for the day's creation. 5 minutes to set the frequency for the next 24 hours. This is your new foundational protocol. You have the understanding. You have the tools to handle the echoes of the past, to build from the inside out, and to navigate the transition. You are now equipped. What is the very first old pattern or thought you will consciously withdraw your observation from? Starting right now, you have done it. You have witnessed and navigated your own quantum self-collapse. You have moved from being a character in a repeating story to the author of all stories. You understand, on a cellular level, that you are the axis of observation. You have the tools to architect from the void. You are no longer the effect, you are the cause. Feel the truth of that statement, the solidity of it. This is your new baseline. But this profound transformation, this incredible act of self-liberation, is not the end of the journey. It is the beginning. Collapsing a single timeline is like learning one note on a cosmic piano. It is a beautiful, resonant, and life-altering sound. But the true mastery, the true music, lies in understanding how all the notes are interconnected, how to compose symphonies of experience, how to shift between octaves of reality with grace and precision. What you have just accomplished is the foundational skill required to consciously navigate the entire network of timelines. You've escaped one prison cell, only to find yourself in the courtyard of an infinite castle, with every door now open to you. Now that you have collapsed the old loop, what if you could consciously choose your next one from an infinite menu of possibilities? This is where the real work, the real art begins. But before we can explore that, there is a critical defense system we must install. Because when you make a significant quantum leap, when you unplug so dramatically from an old state of being, a universal phenomenon occurs. It is a failsafe of the old matrix, an energetic echo designed to pull you back into a familiar loop if you are not aware of it. It is called quantum amnesia. You forget. The profound clarity you feel right now can fade. You forget the feeling of the void. You forget the stillness of the axis, the problems of the old reality, the opinions of others still plugged into that loop, the sheer gravitational pull of collective belief. They can begin to feel real again. The old story, the one you just dissolved, starts to whisper to you, trying to convince you that it was the only real thing, that this experience was just a dream. This is the most dangerous moment in your evolution. It is the moment where the newly freed creator can accidentally wander back into the old cage simply because it feels familiar. We will not let that happen. In our next transmission, we will address this directly. We will install the firewalls to protect your new reality. We will show you how to recognize the onset of quantum amnesia and inoculate yourself against its pull. After we secure your new foundation, we will go deeper. We will explore concepts like timeline entanglement. We will ask the question, are you living someone else's reality? Are the desires you chase, the fears you run from, even yours? Or are they echoes from timelines you have become entangled with? The freedom you are experiencing now is just the first layer. Your future self sent you this video to initiate the collapse. They did their part. They opened the door. They are waiting for you in a new reality. Go meet them, subscribe, and turn on all notifications. The collapse is step 1. In our next video, Quantum Amnesia Explained. Why you forget your true power after a shift will ensure you never revert back.